It's being called a prison within our prisons. Some Nevada inmates forced to remain in their cells 23 hours a day. The reasons vary from behavioral issues to health to transport to another facility. New at 11, News 3's Maria Thompson reports on what's being done to put a stop to the practice.
The ACLU compiled what it calls a story banking project called 23 Hours, talking to inmates from all over the state about their experiences in isolation, how they say staffing issues are keeping them segregated for months at a time.
It's unbearable.
Contrell Welch is behind bars at Ely State Prison, serving a life sentence with parole, in isolation for 30 months.
I'm irreparably damaged, psychologically, spiritually, depraved. Sometimes it's, where am I at? How do you hold on to reality? What is reality? Welch
is one of more than 1,000 prisoners in segregation inside Nevada's facilities. We told you about Joshua Chavita's long stay in segregation.
Being in the cell all day, in your bed, it's hard on my body, it's hard on my mind. I don't have anyone to talk to.
On and off for about 34 months before he returned to the general population this month. The ACLU of Nevada says it noticed the problem of putting prisoners in administrative segregation for non-disciplinary reasons. It got worse during COVID.
It's just the combination of being understaffed and trying to uphold the same standards that they had before. There's people who, especially since COVID, have not even been out of their cell for weeks.
They put a team together to find out what inmates face in segregation. A series of stories, surveys, and responses, shedding light on what they called a prison within a prison. They say the biggest difference between segregated housing and normal housing, not being able to leave the cell for 23 hours a day, needing 3 guards to escort one person out of the cell, and occasionally 1 hour of yard time each day.
It wears on me. It wears on you. It's just, I don't know how, it's just being in a cell by yourself all day.
Kiki Angertok and Ryan Vortish, two faces behind the project, say the results were alarming.
It is jolting to hear some people talk about their experiences because, like I said, so much of it doesn't feel just, it doesn't feel consistent.
Another big concern, the long-term effects of prolonged isolation.
The number one problem is a lot of the inmates that are held in solitary confinement here in Nevada aren't in on life sentences. They are going to be released at some point, but they have no way to prepare for being let back out into the world.
Behavioral problems that Vortish says could become a community-wide issue.
They just aren't prepared to succeed in our day-to-day life outside of prison.
The goal of this project, get Nevada's leaders to pay attention and put a cap on the amount of time someone can spend in segregation. The ACLU plans to publish its 23 Hours project this month. A link to that will be on our website, news3lv.com. Back to you.